And let's keep it going here, everybody. Let's keep raising those scores. So the first thing that we want to really observe here in this problem is, again, the question sentence. How long was the pipe before being cut? Okay, sounds good. So how long was it before being cut? Everybody, quick question. When we are talking about, hey, what was this, or how long was this before we took an action, before we cut it, does it sound like we're working forward or working backwards here? Does it sound like we're working forward or backwards in this case? Yeah, it really sounds like we're working backwards. Again, how long was the pipe before being cut? So I'm going to take that, I'm going to really notice that, and then move forward to write down my information. But I'm going to refer to this and see what meaning this has, what effect this will have on my problem-solving process. So a pipe was cut into 3 equal pieces, each measuring 1 foot and 6 inches in length. Okay, cool. So let me kind of draw this out here. We had this pipe originally, and this pipe was then cut into 3 equal pieces. And then we get the result, which is going to be 3 pipes, 3 pieces there. Shouldn't have done that right there. So we have 3 individual pieces. And everybody, each of these individual pieces was how long? Yeah, 1 foot, 6 inches each one. So this one was 1 foot, 6 inches. So was this one. And so was this one. So everybody, think about how the story went. We started with the original pipe. We cut it into 3 equal pieces, which is division. And we got 1 foot, 6 inches for each of those individual pieces. Everybody, if we're working backwards to get the pipe before it was cut, what is the opposite of dividing by 3? What is the opposite of dividing by 3? Correct. Multiplying by 3. That's how we'll get the original length of the pipe. So let me zoom in here on the right side. And so I'm going to take the 1 foot, 6 inches, and I'm going to multiply it by 3. That's what I'll do. This is going to be able to work because, everybody help me out. First things first, 1 foot multiplied by 3, that's going to be 3 feet. 6 inches multiplied by 3, that's going to be 18 inches. So everyone, is this a proper way to write down a length in feet and inches? Absolutely not a proper way at all. But it's just a quick one last additional step, and we're good to go. Because we have to remind ourselves that 12 inches is the same as 1 foot, and we had 6 inches left over. We'll bring this together with the 3 feet, and that's going to give us 4 total feet with 6 inches as the partial, and there we go. The correct answer here will be D, 4 feet and 6 inches long. That was the length of the pipe before it got cut. So with that, everybody, how are we feeling? Are we ready for the next one? Yeah, and no worries if you're feeling a little lost. Let me just do a brief explanation again. So think about how the story is presented here, everybody. It says that the pipe was cut into 3 equal pieces, and each of those pieces was 1 foot, 6 inches. So think about how that said. After we divided by 3, we ended up getting 1 foot and 6 inches. So if we're going to work backwards to see how long the pipe was before it got cut, we need to work backwards. We need to do the opposite. We got here by dividing by 3. To get back to the original, we have to multiply by 3. And so 1 foot, 6 inches, when we multiply that by 3, we end up getting 4 feet and 6 inches in length. Now, even if even if this part didn't make sense here, I will go ahead and actually, before I continue, I'll calculate the 1 foot 6 inches as just inches, multiply by 3, and then I'll bring it back at the end in terms of feet and inches. So let me go ahead and do that for us here. Let me just show you what that looks like. 1 foot 6 inches. Everybody, quick question. 1 foot is how many inches? Correct. That's going to be 12 inches. So we end up having 12 inches with 6 inches, which is going to be 18 inches. So again, 1 foot and 6 inches is the same as 18 inches. 12 inches in a foot plus the 6 that's there gives me 18. Now I'm going to move forward by multiplying that 18 by 3. 18 times 3. 8 times 3 is going to be 24. Carry the 2. 1 times 3, that's going to be 3. Carry the 2 is 5. So we have 54 inches in total for that pipe. Now from here, I'm going to convert the 54 inches into feet and inches, and we do that by dividing by 12. Because again, to go from inches to feet, you are going from small to big, so we'll divide by 12. So let me show that right over here. 12 going into 54. Everybody, how many times does 12 go into 54? That'll be a clean number. That'll be, or not a clean number, that'll be 4, because we don't have exactly what we need. We have part of what we need. So that's going to be 4 whole feet. And let's see what remains. Let's see the remaining number of inches. So minus 48, that's going to give me 6 left over. And that'll be 6 inches left over. And there we go. 4 feet, 6 inches is that final answer. So for those of us that may have been a little confused about that right there, the calculation step, let me know if that makes a little more sense before we continue. I got you. Right on. I got you. And Saeed, yeah, taking the 3, multiply it by the 12, and then, going with the 6 multiplied by the 3, and then bringing it all back. Yep, that absolutely works. Perfect. So let's go ahead and keep the party going here. We still got plenty of time. Should be able to get at least 2 more questions in, especially with the nature of these next ones. So let's look forward here and let's get this done.